Alright guys, thanks for joining the channel. Panelsnap, 15-minute POV paint job. Kick that booth on, close them curtains. We're spraying out of the Kiwami 4. I want a gun and get it on Amazon for under $200. Make sure them curtains are closed. We got a lot of dust in this shop. There is dirt in my paint work. Spoiler alert. Get that mask on. We don't want to be breathing up any of these nasty fumes. We got a Honda Pilot. NH731 is the paint code. It is a crystal black pearl. To go ahead and grab myself a new rag out of my mess over here. So we got a nice clean surface to paint on. Make sure you guys are hitting that like for me. These videos aren't easy to make. Brand new rag, get that curtain closed. We don't want dirty paint work. So we're gonna get our wax and grease remover. In the booth, I'm using a BASF Diamond product RM900 Pre-Cleano is the wax and grease remover. It is expensive. Wipe the shit on there. Then we'll flip the rag over and we'll wipe it off. This rag will last me probably 2 weeks. I'll use it on every car, every surface. All you have to do is fold it, unfold it, and fold it again. There's 8 sides to every towel. I try to be as wasteless as possible. That's, I feel like, a good painter trait. All of these products cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, so you don't want to be wasteful. Moving on to the next panel. I'm gonna put some air in my pressurized spray bottle. I love this thing. Scares Sammy to death every time I put air in it. He thinks it's gonna explode. Make sure you guys stay till the end so you can see this finished glassy product. I've had this channel a little over a year. I'm trying to be as daily as possible. Live streams, videos, and shorts. We're gonna go ahead and wet that panel up real good with the 902 Pre-Cleano RM product. Get that panel all clean. We're gonna put an adhesion promoter on this. I'm noticing some bare metal spots on both the door and the deck lid. I'm gonna put some etch primer over top, just the bare metal, here in a minute. Then we'll put some adhesion promoter on there. Make sure your panel's clean. It's all in the prep. Panelsnap for prep, guys. There is dirt in my paintwork. Thankfully, we have a shop Nick. He's like an angry Jesus, savior of all. Definitely helps with the dirt problem. Saves my paintwork. Makes me look like a YouTube legend for you guys. Props to the Nick. Alright, so now I'm grabbing the Bulldog adhesion promoter gun here because I forgot to grab the etch primer, but I'll remember here in a second. I have scatterbrain all over the place, so bear with me, guys. I'm gonna get one final tack on there. It's not gonna matter because there's so much damn dirt in this shop that there will be dirt in this paint. Alright, so we got some etch primer, SEM product, SEM, whatever you guys call it. Just putting a light coat over top the bare metal, and that's that. Gonna make sure that you get good adhesion over that metal. That's what it's designed for. This Bulldog, that's the one thing it recommends you don't put it over top of bare metal. I'm assuming that means that it'll peel right off, so we don't want that. So we're just gonna put etch primer on it, and then we'll Bulldog it. Alright, we got the etch primer on here. The door is probably ready for coat of Bulldog. I put this on about 18 plus inches away from the panel. Nice dry spray. acting as a wet bed. It's going to make sure that the paint sticks. It's going to fill in any surface imperfections that I may have missed, any heavy duty scuff scratches or anything like that. It's like an insurance policy. It also makes the paint flexible. It is expensive, it is pricey. Not every shop is going to put this on every car, but we put that shit on everything. Like I said, good insurance policy. So we keep the gun around 18 inches plus away from the panel. Nice mist coat. Get it on there. I like to put a little extra over top of my bodywork area, just because it's going to absorb a lot of it up. Alright, so that's taken care of. Get that base coat gun dialed in. I'm using the Kiwami 4. Make sure I get this razor blade off of the plastic here. We don't want any crazy mishaps, that getting drug across the hood or something. That would be a nightmare. Alright, so now we're going to get this base coat gun all dialed in. This is the Kiwami. It has a blue cap on it. That's because my dumbass lost the other cap into the waste thinner drum. So we stole this cap off a different gun. I'm going to open the needle up a little bit. It's not all the way open, but not far from it. I can't give you guys an accurate read on that because, like I said, it's not the same needle cap, fluid needle, nozzle, regulator cap, whatever you would call that thing. So first coat right over top the primer, real nice and wet. We're just going for coverage. This paint code NH731P is probably the easiest code that you could be painting. You know, not too metallic-y, it's black, real easy. I try to make sure that I get nice coverage on that first coat, and I let that first coat dry thoroughly. And then we'll come through with the second coat. We'll close the needle in about a full turn to get better atomization and a better blend out. And that's when we'll start doing our blending out on the next two coats. It's very cold these past couple days, so I'm gonna go run and turn the paint booth off, open up my doors and let some of this warm air in, because my paint booth sucks all the cold air from outside. So I would say temperature in the booth today is probably around 40 degrees. With that being said, I'm using fast everything. So fire that booth on, make sure all your curtains are closed if you're using this type of booth. Nowhere for the dust to get in. You want to try to eliminate that as much as possible. Try to eliminate in and outs of the booth as well. As you can see, that first coat has flashed off very nicely. It is completely flashed. I can take a tack rag to this if need be. So, second coat, like I said, we're going to blend it out. Man, see, I'm changing the depth of my gun from the panel when I get further down the panel. Kind of flicking it a little bit as well with the wrist. I don't do that too much because that can cause dry spray down the side of your panel. Up there by the door handle, I noticed some scratches. They just look like finger scuff scratches maybe, so I'm going to put a light coat over that as well. Alright, now we're going to pretty much put a coat over everywhere on the back of this. This thing has a rear bumper that is getting painted as well. I just couldn't fit it in the booth, so we did that after the fact. Like I said, this color, I pretty much go with the standard every time. It's pretty entry-level paint code to be shooting. If you guys haven't hit that like yet, make sure you do so. Appreciate it. Check out my channel. I do daily live streams, videos, and shorts. So we're all fleshed off, ready for the final coat of base. Here we go, shooting it out of the Kiwami 4. I did close that needle just a tad more. That's not on camera. And we're going to put our final coat on. Me closing that needle is just going to give me a much smoother finish. So when I clear, I get a nicer level surface, causing that glassy finish that you guys wonder, how do you get that? Well, that's how. Tuning in the fine details of the gun, keeping consistent pressure, and depth, speed. Once you got those things locked in, it's glass every time. This Kiwami spray is great. It's a fairly cheap gun considering the prices of guns. It's made by Iwata. You can get it on Amazon for under $200. Highly recommended. I shoot everything out of it. Everything from sealer, urethane primer, base coat. It shoots clear coat as well. I don't clear with it, but you can if you need to. Here guys, bear with me here guys. I'm going to do my best to make these videos as not boring as possible for you. I'm going to try to pump out a couple of these videos if I can every now and then with the GoPro so it doesn't go to waste. We're getting our final tack on. That's why we got to make sure that that base coat is dry before doing this. There's a little chip in that door there, but it's not part of the damage. I'm just going with the flow here. Shouldn't be a problem. Got the Iwata WS400 here. The needle is 3 turns out. Like I said, it's cold. We don't want that needle all the way open. We're going to just act like you're a machine. All the motion that I do is pretty much in my shoulder and my elbow, keeping my wrist fluid. It's not locked, but it's not unlocked. Trying to keep the gun evenly flowing speed and depth and just wetting up that panel. My overlap is more of a push, pushing the fluid from top to bottom. I'm not really looking at it as an overlap. And then that final upwards motion's just a quick lay down. You know, I'm just making sure that I don't have any inconsistent areas. Nice fluid flow of liquid to just lay down all together at once, if that makes sense. These deck lids I've always known to be tricky to clear because of all the different depth changes, so I try to start my first coat right here in the middle. I've been more consistent on not getting runs doing it this way, so I get that base coat there right in the middle of clear, and then I just put another pass over everything else. Get everything as even as possible, and then the second coat I'll come and I'll flood it evenly from top to bottom. See that here in a second. This is my first voice-over GoPro video, guys. I hope I'm doing a good job keeping you guys entertained and giving you guys all the information that you need. If I'm not getting them comments, let me know. Tell me where I'm lacking, and I'll try to do better next time. There's that first coat. It is flashed off and ready for a second one. We got a nice grab all the way down there. Got nice strings all the way at the bottom. But like I said, I'm closing this needle about a turn, and then I'm gonna just flood a second coat over that. 2 coats, you guys know the rules. These 2 coats will melt into each other, becoming one sheet of glass. Just stay tuned, watch till the end. Nice overlap. I'm not really doing an overlap. As you can see, I'm just pushing the wet spot down the panel. Consistent depth, keeping that elbow locked almost, you know, just on a pivot there. One fluid motion, you guys. From end to end, I go into my plastic. It gives me time to adjust if I need to adjust my angle. So that's why I take my clear past the panel like that. Plus, if you try to stop on the body line there, you're probably going to get a run down it. Alright, so that second coat on that door is done. We're going to go over to the deck lid now. Very nice finish. It's going to lay there. It's going to collect plenty of dust for Nick to sand out. Just kidding. Everything in my shop does get sanded from start to finish, 800 all the way down to 3,000. It's a dirty environment. There's all sorts of shit floating around in the air. So it's inevitable that something is going to land on the paint job, either making it dirty or causing dieback. So we just try to put a nice, consistent, good paint job on it that we can critique at the end. So that's all she wrote, guys. Make sure you hit that like, turn them notifications on. Join me live in my booth, Monday through Friday, daily auto body paint content. Thanks for watching. Panelsnap. Paint America great again.